Hello there everybody, I'm Sobana92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Chaos Head Noah, as I duke it out with the allergies of the season, making it exceptionally difficult to breathe. What the fuck, you know what it is. Welcome back to Chaos Head. So, this was brought up last episode. Just a reminder, I don't have to do the delusions. I think I was getting into that mindset that whenever a game or a story introduces a mechanic, I feel the need to participate in it, because if I don't, I am not experiencing the entire tale. So I'm going to change up a little bit about how I do that, because... You know what? I'll use last episode as an example. We had a moment where we were meeting this girl with a large-ass sword, holding it up to us, and a delusion occurred. What I should have done in that scenario was, because of how intense the scene felt, I should have just ignored the delusion. So this is how I'm going to change it up. If I feel a delusion is breaking the tension or kind of breaking the scene in question, I'm not going to participate in it, and I'm probably just going to ignore it. So it's going to be mostly up to my discretion about whether I'm going to let a delusion occur versus just ignoring it, because apparently there are little bits of dialogue that I do miss if I partake in a delusion in some aspects. So thank you for the healthy reminders. So I'm going to try to play this a bit better. Play this in a way where I'm only going to let a delusion occur if it doesn't necessarily disrupt the scene. And in other cases, I'll just ignore them. So that's how I'm gonna change this up a little bit. So let's continue. You know, just kind of do it that way. Anyway, another important thing is, like last episode, something was going on with our main character's sister. Like, she was under some sort of trance, which is very, very concerning, to the point where she almost walked out in the midst of moving traffic. Somebody or something is attempting to... In that moment, it was like they were actually trying to kill Takumi's sister. My thought process is that it has something to do with the New Gen murders. But that's what I'm thinking. I just don't know how. And our main character does not care, which is an interesting change. There is a mystery, but our main character wants nothing to do with it, which, in a way, adds a little bit of realism to our main character, Takumi. If you, as a person, were thrown into a situation, an almost supernatural situation, where there was some crazy mystery, some murders going on, admittedly, in those situations, it's completely understandable why you would want nothing to do with it. You would want to escape from it. And with our main character going through some crazy levels of escapism, It is interesting. It's interesting. And it fits. Sure, our character's a bit degenerate, but in that regard, you can kind of relate to him. Anyway, today I headed straight for Animate without stopping by At Cafe. The reason, of course, was to finally pick up my long-awaited Bloodtoon figure, Seiratan Post-Awakening version. Oh yeah, you ordered that, didn't you? While I was in checkout, Yua's face crossed my mind for a second, but I cut off those thoughts immediately. I glanced at the Seiratan figures that were set on display, in order to attract customers, but since the sculptor was Kijima Yoshio, not a single word needed to be said about their quality. I had to get home fast so I could enjoy her every nook and cranny as soon as possible. Oh god, man. As long as I could admire Seiratan's face every now and then while I played ESO, I was content. So why did the entire third dimension do nothing but bring me trouble? It plagued me even now. Why is Yua here? Oh, never mind. It's just, okay. I headed straight for my base in high spirits, forgetting all about Fez and swords and whatever else, and practically skipping the entire way home. Yes! Homeless gumshoe! When I was about 50 meters away, I encountered two men who carried an unmistakably abnormal air about them. I attempted to pass by them without making eye contact, but they were very clearly watching me.
そこの君、ちょっといいかい?
No. I would prefer not to. I kind of want to leave. Preferably, I am. The first of the two to call out to me was a dull, older man. One that looked like he belonged at a cycling racetrack, gambling his life away. That is an interesting way of putting it. His hair was a mess, and his unshaved beard was somehow worse. He wore a worn-out old suit, a sloppily tied necktie, and dress shoes that didn't show a trace of being cared for. All of it came together to form an unparalleled example of a gumshoe who'd failed to get ahead in life. For some reason, the fact that he was flapping a fan at himself only served to further emphasize how pathetic he looked. His expression was similarly languid, his mouth curled into a flippant smile. I make all these gumshoe jokes, but for real, I love gumshoe. And yet, when our eyes met for a split second, I knew that he wasn't really smiling. There was nowhere to run. As I searched for something to reply to them with, the two men made their way up to me.
おじさん、こういうものなんだけどさ。
The older man took out a black badge from his suit and held it out toward me. It was the same kind of police badge you'd see in various TV shows, but it was obviously the first time I'd ever seen a real one. They finally come for me. They could only be here for one thing. The crucifixion case.
ちょっと話を聞かせてもらっていいかい?
I want my lawyer present.
もちろん強制じゃないんだけどね。あ、そんな身構えなくていいよ。本当話聞くだけだから。
I need an adult. I am an adult. No! The way he spoke didn't show a trace of trying to intimidate me. The other, younger detective, however, wore a strict expression as he nonchalantly moved to block my path. Sweat started running down my neck. If I made any wrong moves, they'd likely suspect me of being the culprit and haul me down to the station right then and there. I did not want that to happen. I resigned myself, then gave a small nod.
君さ、俗に言うニュージェネレーションの狂気って知ってるかな?
The new generation madness. Yeah, I can't lie about that. I knew it. I wiped the beads of sweat off my forehead, then gave him a nod in reply.
じゃあ、3番目に起きた通称貼り付け殺人事件も当然知ってるよね。この近所で起きたわけなんだけども。
Yeah.
その目撃者を探してるわけよ。
Well, you're talking to one. I mean, what?
あ、ちなみに君、名前聞かせてくれる?
Lawyer. A gulp forced itself down my throat. This wasn't some bait and switch shit, was it? Or maybe they were a bunch of con men who were only acting like policemen, while in reality they were just mining my personal information so they could put it to ill use. They could even be the demon girl's underlings.
あれ、答えてくんないのかな?
I'm just antisocial. Wait, that makes me come across weird. If they started to suspect me, there'd be no end to it. What should I do? If I gave them a fake name, they might arrest me immediately.
ああ、個人情報保護法とか気にしてる? おじさんそんなに信用なさそうに見えるかな?
Kinda? You do look a little bit untrustworthy, my good sir. Just a little bit. I'll say. Either way, his friendly way of speaking had to be just an act. Actually, I figured it out. This guy's got the appearance of Gumshoe, but has a fusion of his personality with Oishi from Higurashi. In the end, I figured there was no way around it. That it was my best interest to answer honestly.
西條匠君でいいかい?
Yeah. I shook my head. No.
本当に?
Ooh, new expression. He don't look too happy. Huh? What was that supposed to mean? I had purposefully given him my real name, so what the hell was that reaction?
いや、これは失礼。今のは気にしないでくれ。
Yanking your chain a skosh. The fuck is a skosh? The detective's unnatural laughter rang throughout the quiet residential area. Just hurry up and let me go already.
その制服、水明だよね。何年生？
Did I have to answer stuff like that? Yeah, second year, yeah.
悪いね。聞き取れなかった。おじさんもう年だから耳遠くてさ。もう一度言ってくれる？
Second year.
2年生。
ああ、2年生ね。どうも。
You're under arrest!
西条さん。聞きたいことってのは先月の29日の午後6時から10時頃にかけてどこで何してたかなんだわ。
On the 29th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Yep. Were they asking me for my alibi? Did that mean they suspected me? That's ridiculous!
いや、別に君を疑ってるわけじゃなくてさ。その時間にこの近くにいたなら怪しい人物を見かけたとか何か音を聞いたとかないかと思ってね。
Sure. Right. Sorry, sir, as I mentioned, I am antisocial. For some reason, the way the guy talked was really starting to get to me. Maybe talking in a way that deliberately agitated the subject was some kind of interrogation technique. I don't know, I've seen a bunch of different interrogation videos. Sometimes the cops are just downright incompetent. Of course, I had seen someone suspicious. I'd seen someone very clearly, and with my own two eyes. Just to clarify, like, I would watch people like, Ewu on YouTube and JCS back whenever he used to post stuff. But I wasn't sure if it would be a good idea to tell that to this shady old guy. What would I do if I told him, and then the demon girl came back for revenge? It seemed like the demon girl was letting me run free for now, but she still had Shogun on her side, and he was equipped with precognitive powers. So by that logic, that must have meant that the demon girl had some sort of insane power as well. And if that was true, and I told the police about it, she might find out about it immediately because of her clairvoyance or whatever, and then she'd come to kill me right after. Meanwhile, as he's having these, like, these thoughts are going through his head, the detectives are like, man, he takes a little bit of time to, answer us, doesn't he? I really don't want any part to do with this, sir. Oh, come on, it's a lot of fun. I like watching him squirm.
なあ、西条君。今日はそんなに暑いか?
I swear to God, if you invite me into your car with air conditioning... My heart rate skyrocketed. If I stayed silent like this, they would absolutely suspect me of being the criminal, but at the same time I was scared that if I lied and I said I didn't see anything, they'd see right through me. The older man fanned me a couple of times with his fan. A cool breeze rustled my hair.
もうすっかり秋だ。汗かくほど暑いとは思えんけどな。まあ、体質ってのは人それぞれだしな。
This dude knows. He's automatically giving off that air. And it doesn't help that our character is acting so unbelievably suspicious. Ironic considering he was the one walking around with a fan, but he was right. It wasn't all that hot out today. It was perfect, actually. The kind of temperature you'd actually enjoy spending time in. I'd wiped the sweat off my forehead with my sleeve countless times now.
僕はやってない。
And now you're suspicious. Because you just said I didn't do it. The look in his eyes shifted. I realized that I'd slipped up, but I had no idea what exactly had tipped him off. You just out of nowhere said I didn't do it.
何をやっていないんだ?
They definitely suspected me. I had to answer honestly. Staring at the manhole cover right beneath my feet, I began to blurt out everything. Oh!
見たんです。 貼り付けの現場、そこに女がいたんです。で、血まみれにして死体の前に。
You're just blurting this all out to the detective. Okay, sure.
杭がたくさん死体に突き刺さってて、あれ500本は絶対超えてた。異常だ。死体がハリネズミみたいになってて。
Oddly specific that you're specifying that they almost look like a hedgehog, but you really don't really have much else to compare it to, honestly, so fair enough.
女は僕を見てよかったって笑ってた。あの女は悪魔だ。人間じゃない。ニュージェネの母親には人を超えた存在なんだ。
And now you lost the detectives as soon as you said, she's a being that transcends humanity! You just immediately lost them.
ヨシとかすごい超能力とか使う。
You are making this... You had him in the first half, and then you're immediately making it bad, my dude. Immediately, the detective's like, what the fuck? I mean, he kind of had us in the first half. Not gonna lie, he kind of did, but was this about ESP? Dude, I have no idea. Upon saying that much, I realized the two detectives were staring at me with their eyes wide. Maybe they didn't believe me. Thinking that, I clamped my mouth shut.
悪魔か。なるほどね。そいつは参考になったよ。
Wait, really?
本当です。
ああ、分かってる分かってる。貴重な情報だよ。
Okay. Really?
僕を警察で守ってください。
And now he just wants he wants protection. I mean, fair.
その前にその女の年はわかる。服装とか顔の特徴とか。
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Like, he just specified girl. That doesn't really... That barely limits down the list of suspects. Asking for details like clothes and other stuff actually makes a lot of sense.
水明。
Okay, good start. Sume uniform, good start.
水明って水明学園？
その制服着てた。
つまり西条君と同じ学校の生徒か。
Apparently, but we've never seen her. After simmering on that for a moment, the old man grinned. He then muttered something that could be either an actual question or just him mumbling to himself.
何年生だろうな、その女子高生は。
I don't remember if our main character specified. Part of my brain says third year, but I don't think that's the case. I don't know why my brain is thinking that, but...
何年生だと思う？西条君。
I'd have to kind of look at the uniforms a little bit better to see if I could differentiate what makes one a second year versus one makes one a third year. Or a first year.
わからない。
Okay, so we don't know.
なんて名前だと思う？
Again, we don't know her name either.
わからないよ。僕はあの悪魔の名前なんて知らない。
Okay, appearance.
その女の身長、体重、あとついでにスリーサイズについて。
How would we know that? I mean, I guess we could probably guess the height, but weight and measurements? Bro. What was up with this old man? Was he screwing with me? How was I supposed to know even a single one of those? Did he think I could instantly get all of those measurements from a single glance? Oh yeah, sure, I absolutely had such a stupid power. Oh wait, no I didn't, because this wasn't the goddamn rom-com manga.
なるほど。黙ってるってことはわからないってことだね。結構。参考になったよ。
Okay.
これは本部に戻って検討しないといかんな。
Okay.
先輩、マジっすか?
Waving his hand to silence the dumbfounded younger detective, the older man signaled something to him with his eyes.
西条君、 ちなみに連絡先とか教えてもらえる？
Oh no. We have to give him our number.
え、
We have
なんで
we have to give him the number. I knew they wouldn't believe me. They wanted to label me as some nut job and falsely accuse me of everything.
ああ、だって悪魔だっけ？そいつから君を守らなくちゃならないだろ？
Oh. So that was why he'd asked. Oh, thank God they actually believed me. If I could get the police to protect me, it would be incredibly reassuring. Yes, the enemy was a demon, so the police would only get one shot if they went up against her, but it was better than being unarmed. Feeling slightly relieved, I took out the phone I had bought a few days prior and showed him my phone number. The younger detective scribbled it down in his notebook.
いや、忙しいところありがとうさ。君の身の安全は警察が保証するから、何の心配もしなさんな。
Now, here's the interesting thing. We already know, like, my understanding of the police is that everyone is a suspect until they get conclusive evidence to clear somebody's name. But they also have to keep an open mind that a suspect is innocent until proven guilty. So while they are... Okay, I'm starting to run around in circles. My understanding is that they are going to kind of take... Because of the murders, they have to take this with a level of seriousness. And with how they are approaching Takumi, they're not bringing him in. They asked him some questions, got a little bit from him, and they got his information now. So with that, they should be able to find his location at any time, because they got his cell number now. I don't know. I guess I just don't know enough about these to make a conclusive opinion about how they operate. But like I said, this dude is like a fusion of Oishi and Gumshoe. At least that's kind of how I see him.
じゃあ、また何か聞きたいことができたら電話するかもしれないんで、その時はよろしくね。
I'll think about it.
イルスとか使わないでくれよ。今のところ警察にとっては君は重要な人物だからな。
Huh. Maybe I'm just having a okay, wait. Okay, no, I see what he's saying. Okay. Make sure not to pretend like you're not there or something. Got it.
え、
君の目撃証言は事件解決の重要な手がかりになりそうだ。
The eyewitness testimony. Granted, it's hearsay, but I don't know. I think eyewitness testimony kind of counts as hearsay because you need, I guess, to verify the validity of eyewitness testimony, there needs to be at least multiple sources for it to kind of become a little bit more valid and a bit more stronger in terms of being evidence. Because otherwise, if it's just one person's eyewitness testimony, then it could be considered hearsay, I think. I'm not a legal scholar, so I'm probably getting a large amount of this wrong. If somebody's a bit more familiar with this sort of thing, feel free to, like, correct me. The two detectives bowed their heads and promptly took off. Because whenever it comes to a court of law, like, physical evidence speaks louder. Sort of. After taking a glance at me over his shoulder, the younger detective whispered something to the older one. The older man paid him no mind and simply continued to walk. I let out a long, long sigh. That was intense. It was the first time I'd ever been questioned by actual detectives. I'd acted pretty suspicious without meaning to, but they believed me anyway. Somehow. God, I'd give anything for the police to just arrest the demon girl. And then again, the police didn't have any special powers, so maybe I should keep my expectations low. I then noticed that my mouth had gone incredibly dry without me realizing, so I redirected myself to the nearest vending machine and got myself a cola. Alright, now we're back in our prison room.
覚醒バージョン残すエロすぎパンモノじゃんかだがそれがいい
And he's immediately fawning over the figure he got.
顔かわいいよ顔。原作再現度はいまいちだけど、プンプンと漂うエロスが木島義雄らしさだよな。これはこれでグッジョブ。
GJ? Does that mean good job? I think it's the first time I've ever seen that be there. Hold on. GJ. Short for good job. Used on the internet as an expression of admiration for a job well done. Funny thing is, I don't remember that being a thing. Oh yeah, look at all of these tips that I haven't read that everybody already knows. Yuri, archetype that refers to women that see other women as romantic interests. Tsundere, a girl who is usually aloof and acerbic. Acerbic? Acerbic. But becomes affectionate, dere, when alone with her romantic interest. However, the definition has become more broad recently. Theatrical crime. A type of crime committed under full view of the public. These crimes and their subsequent investigations are reported on in detail by the mass media, who treat it almost as if it's a TV special. Adding to this effect, the perpetrators will sometimes even send a declaration of their crimes. It's extremely easy for theatrical crimes to sow disorder and chaos. For example, some individuals may view the criminal as a hero, and some may be inspired to commit their own similar crimes. The latter individuals are known as copycat criminals. I am not clicking on Rule 34 because we already all know what that does. Crashing. When a program or operating system stops functioning and closes. A number of web pages are designed to overload web browsers or cause the operating system to behave abnormally. Links to such pages are frequently posted on anonymous message boards without any form of warning, and in the worst case scenario, they can have serious effects on the computer of whoever visits the page. Actually, we already know what bait is. In phishing, it means to add bait to a hook. In net slang, however, it means to bait out reactions from people via posting provocative opinions or false information. The person doing the baiting then enjoys watching the angry reactions to the victim take the bait, often abbreviated as B8. Something I'll never understand. Thank God I never will. Short for the full quote, that's why we love you. That's why we admire you. A quotation from popular manga about bizarre adventures, used to express awe at someone's capabilities, often used sarcastically in reference to negative character traits such as pettiness. Why are there so many JoJo references in here, apparently? I haven't even watched JoJo yet! I am learning more about JoJo strictly from the fucking references that the internet refuses to leave me alone! A video game addict, a term used to refer to someone that stays in their room and constantly plays video games for exceedingly long periods of time, often forgoing foods. I have a job. I'm not an addict. Shut up.
上着キャストオフとかこの角度からじゃほとんど全裸にしか見えんひょー
You know what? As weird as this character is, I gotta give credit to the voice actor. He does, whoever it is, does a fucking good job, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it a little bit. Not the character, the voice actor's enthusiasm. Like, you can, like, I don't know what it is. I just love it when a voice actor can actually, you can actually feel they are the character.
髪の動きがいいよな。覚醒バージョンは髪が命って持論があるわけだが間違ってなかったな。さて、それではお待ちかね。パンツいってみようか。どれどれ。
Oh, for God's sake, man.
V ゾーンの作り込みいいよ。シワの付き方リアルだしって。Dude! これ、スージーさん。マジですげえ。クオリティ高すぎ。
That is not awesome sauce. Oh my God, dude!
これセーラタン5作目にして早くも最高傑作爆誕じゃねえ。これ以上すごいのなんて出せないってマジで。やっぱ木島は神。
Okay. I'm not gonna fall into this camp here. This character, there are people that I know that collect anime figures and just video game character statues, okay? There are people I know that do that. This main character kind of exemplifies the creepy ones. The ones that get them for the sexual reasons. Meanwhile, there are people that legitimately collect the statues as a collector of sorts. Like, it's an actually not a bad hobby. Like, I won't lie. I was very tempted to order... you know what? I'm just gonna shut up. The Shadow of the Erdtree character that they're advertising, Mesmer the Impaler, and it's strictly not because of their absolutely stellar shop tactic of, like... Oh my god, if I can find a screenshot of that advertisement, I'll post it on screen so people can understand how the fucking wording on that just sent me. I was almost tempted to do that. I didn't, but I was almost tempted strictly because the advertising almost killed me whenever I read it. But like I said, this main character kind of exemplifies a negative, I think. Oh wait, so that's the new outfit? That's not much of an outfit, honestly. I mean, the freaking Stakes of Purgatory actually have more clothing compared to that. I carefully stood my Seraton next to my monitor. Sarah, you're so sexy, Sarah. Simply looking over at her made me grin uncontrollably. Life was good. I logged on and immediately started posting my impressions of my new Seraton figure on @channel. When I finished doing that, I went to check my email, then checked to see if any of my friends on Freepara had posted any updates. Freepara? Is that a new website?
おっと、前触れ申請来てるじゃん。
Friend request. Wait a minute. Friend request from who?
セーラコミュの人か。はいはい、ゲイですよ。
Plot twist, it's Yua. Now then, time for ESO. But the very second I thought that... Oh! Whoa, that's weird. I felt chills on the nape of my neck. Ooh, a red flash. It was the gaze, complete with its usual intense presence. Whose eyes are those eyes? Another delusion. Save here. Since there's no delusion here, I'll save over that. Damn it! This is not the time. When had I first started feeling the gaze? I'd long since forgotten. It slithered its way into each and every part of my life, bothering the shit out of me all the way. There were a lot of things that disturbed my peace, but the gaze was right up there with Nanami as the most irritating thing I had to deal with. Fine then, let's do it. The "it'll take more than that to make me turn around" game. Still fixated on my monitor, I tried to think of some cool lines you'd hear in a manga.
貴様、出てこい。僕の目をごまかせるとでも思ったか。甘いな。
There was no response. But why would there be? Hell, I'd be even more terrified if there had been...
Eh?
Oh, somebody's at the door. I heard something. Upon hearing it, I immediately whipped around. I'd lost today's no turning around game. There was no one else in the room. Was it just a hallucination? Please be a hallucination. From the bottom of my heart, that was all I hoped for. It came again. It was the sound again. I couldn't weasel my way out of this. It was the sound of someone knocking on my door from the outside. In other words, someone was here. Practically no human beings ever came to visit me. Even newspaper salesmen wouldn't bother getting up on the roof. All I could think of was, a delivery guy? No, I wasn't supposed to be getting any packages today. Nanami? No, Nanami would be so much more obnoxious. She'd be banging on the door, screaming, "Big bro, open up," making my eardrums bleed. Yua? Chances of that were high. She'd been to my base once before. Had the demon girl ordered her to come and kill me? But if that were true, why would she bother knocking? The knocking sound continued. I was completely frozen in place trying to figure out what to do, but I couldn't come up with a single good idea that quickly. I started freaking out more and more. Wait, I could just pretend like I wasn't home. Was that being too cautious? No, there was no such thing right now. Shibuya had gotten incredibly dangerous recently, after all. If it was Yua, there was absolutely no way I could let her in. If I did, it'd be pretty much asking to get killed. On a related note, was my door locked? I stared in the direction of the door, but thanks to the darkness, I couldn't see very well. I slowly got up and tiptoed toward the door, being careful not to make a sound.
Huh.
When I reached the center of the room, I finally knew for sure. The door wasn't locked. Chills assaulted my entire body. My heartbeat increased rapidly, and my anxiety shot up along with it. I'd forgotten to lock my goddamn door! If someone just waltzed right on in right now and stabbed me in the back, I would have no right to complain. I had to lock it fast. If I made a sound, they'd immediately find out that I was just pretending to not be home, but that was far better than letting them get inside. I was about to bolt toward the door when... it opened! You tripped. You tripped. I accidentally stepped on an empty boxed lunch that had fallen on the floor. Clean up your fucking room! I slipped to an almost comical degree and landed hard on my ass. The extreme pain made me moan in silent agony. Who is it? And then right before my eyes, the door slowly began to open. I didn't know who it was, but whoever had been knocking on was now opening the door of their own accord. I tried to get up, but the pain kept my body from listening to me. All I could do was stare with teary eyes as the door opened. The first thing I saw was a hand. The sleeve on it was clearly from a Sumai Academy uniform. Next I saw hair. A little longer than Nanami's, but shorter than Yua's! I didn't know who it was. The hair stirred, and the last thing I saw was a face suddenly peeking into the room. Her! The demon has arrived! That was when I finally realized who it was. A person I never would have expected. The worst possible plot twist. Feelings of intense despair threatened to steal every bit of hope away from me. The demon girl. I thought it'd be Yua. I never would have thought the demon girl herself would come marching in. Hi. Our eyes met. And right as they did, the demon girl smiled with glee. Her smile sent chills down my spine. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck! Her hand hidden by the door had to be gripping one of those cross-shaped stakes. It had to be. She'd finally come to kill me. She was gonna kill me as she laughed and laughed in pure ecstasy. It had to be because of the detective I talked to. She'd seen me do it with her clairvoyance. Don't kill me, I tried to scream, but I was too terrified to make a sound. Okay, different pose. Doey, don't. What? Tilting her neck to the side, the demon girl unleashed a strange incantation. It had to be some demonic tongue. She was cursing me! In hopes of gaining as much distance as possible from her, I frantically started crawling backward on my ass. My hand slipped countless times on random garbage scattered across the floor as I scrambled for the furthest thing away from her. My computer desk. You're kind of already in here! The demon girl began encroaching further upon my territory. She even politely took off her shoes. A little bit! I don't know what to make. I don't know what to think of you. First time I see you, you're covered in blood standing near a corpse. And now you're all cheery. Who the fuck are you? And she closed the door. The door closed. My escape route had been cut off. However, Despite what I'd thought earlier, the demon girl was only carrying a bag. I didn't see anything resembling a deadly weapon. Wait, that just meant it was inside her bag. It had to be! I had to be extremely careful. The second I let my guard down, she'd swoop in and end me. Or maybe she already had with that curse she'd placed on me a minute ago. In a few days, my entire body would suddenly start spewing blood everywhere, and I'd die right then and there! Good God, this dude's panicking so badly. I don't blame him! Because the first time he sees this girl, and she's like covered in blood and shit. Like legit, I don't blame him for panicking. She did not make the best first impression. I got down on my hands and knees, cradling my head between my arms. Those goddamn detectives had completely fucked me over. It was a lie meant to buy me some time. The older detective had said he'd guarantee my safety. If he was doing his job properly, he'd have to have sent at least one officer over to my place. Upon thinking that, I suddenly realized I'd given the old man my phone number. But I hadn't given him my address. Bishi? Bishi? Suddenly, the demon girl assumed a pose resembling a salute. And what was just as, if not more strange, was what she'd said. It was almost like a sound effect. Was it another demonic curse? Huh? What? Was she trying to play dumb? Or was this her roundabout way of threatening me? And in actuality, she was saying, forget the truth, act as if nothing ever happened. What the hell was she thinking? Hadn't she come here to kill me? I am beyond confused, honestly. The demon girl walked toward me, then slowly reached out her hand. Her expression was so gentle, and now that I was seeing her up close, she was actually pretty cute. You shouldn't think that. She killed a guy. Damn it, I was letting her get to me. Stop acting like a goddamn idiot. Was I seriously calling a demon pretty cute? I don't know, demons can be cute. She was a murderer. She'd used Yua and Shogun to trap me, and now she'd come to finish me off herself. Don't trust her. I'd already learned my lesson back with Yua. I'd never make the same mistake again. I refused to take her hand. Don't be deceived by this demon girl's smile. She was a demon trying to tempt me. If I gave in to that temptation, I'd die. Trust no one. Don't believe anything. Don't believe anything anyone says. Wait a minute, how do you know my name? How did you know my name? I swear to God, if your name is Sarah, I'm going to leave. What was she gonna do with me? Just like with the guy in the fourth case, was she gonna... Maybe the three of them had decided to work together. That way I wouldn't be able to fight back when they beat me to death.
じゃあね、私を殺人犯扱いしなければ助けてあげる。
But you did kill somebody. So that was her true goal!
そんなビビらないでよ。いちいち私がへこむようなリアクションしてくれるよね。
Wait. You react like this to every other thing I say, and it always bums me out. Like, are we talking like right now? Or are you implying we've met before? But before the murder?
お願いだ。もう二度と誰にも喋らないから。だから見逃して。
もしもーし、タク、ちょっと落ち着こう。
This bitch acting like we were close or something, calling me Taku and shit. Wait, actually, how did she know my name? She'd already known it back when we'd first met at the crucifixion crime scene. How? How did she know it? And also, how had she known where my base was?
当然でしょ。
No, it doesn't. Who are you?
あなたの名前を知ってるのは。
I don't fucking know. Huh? Had she just read my mind? Wait, what? Huh? I knew she was clairvoyant. She knew my name, my address, all because she'd used her powers on me.
タクって結構独り言多いよね。
That is true. That is true. My character does do that in privacy, that he tends to talk to himself a lot.
前から思ってたことだけど。
Okay, there's some implications that this girl has known our main character for a long-ass time. But for some reason, Takumi doesn't know. Always? How long was she talking? Wait, had I been talking to myself out loud just now? I hadn't been aware of it at all. Was I really true? Had I really been talking to myself out loud? Or was it possible that she was just lying to me, and in actuality she'd read my mind?
タクの名前を知らないわけないよ。私、物覚えはそんなに良くない方だけど。友達の名前くらい覚えるよ。
Friends? Friends?
それともタク、私のことバカにしてる？そりゃ私、テストの点数はそんなに良くないけど。
Your test scores?
面と向かってそういうこと言われると傷ついちゃうな。
Huh? Was someone here crazy? But who was it? Me? Her?
もしかして転校生？
I don't think she's a transfer I don't know what the fuck to think!
そういえば近いうちに転校生が来るらしいよ。チカチン先生が言ってた。
Wait a minute, you're in my class? Huh? Wait. What? Okay, there were two different conversations going on here. My terror from earlier, together with the anxiety of having no idea when I'd get killed, was starting to fade. But rushing in to replace it was a completely new kind of dread, slithering in to slowly erode my mind.
もしもし？
If I was lost before, I don't know where the hell I am right now.
その顔はまさかまだ信じてくれてない？
Whose room is this? Where am I? Who am I?
誰だ？
Okay, seriously, yeah, immediately the correct question. Who are you? Who are they? A murderer? A demon girl? That was who.
タクこそクラスメートの顔を覚えてないんだ。ひどー。
I mean, to be fair, in my defense, in most of my years in high school, I barely remember anybody that I went to school with. Did she say classmate? So we weren't just friends, but classmates too?
でもまあしょうがないか。タクはあんまり学校来ないもんね。
Okay, that is a fair point. And the only classmate I interact with is Misumi.
だからって私の存在丸ごとなかったことにするのはどうかと思う。ちなみに名前も忘れちゃってるわけかな。
Yeah, who are you?
はいはい、そうなのね。ショック。じゃあ思い出させてあげますよっと。
Okay.
私は崎畑リミ。
Sakihata Rimi. Sakihata Rimi.
リアクションなしかい。
Yeah, nothing.
崎畑リミ。思い出した？
Nope. No idea. Nope. Not at all. First time I saw you, you were covered in blood. Unless I hadn't even heard the name before. Besides, other than Yua, I'd never met a 3D girl who talked to me like we were this close in my life. And Yua was the demon girl's underling. Wait, that was it? What the girl calling herself Sakihata was doing right now was exactly the same as what Yua had done! This temptress knew I wasn't used to interacting with 3D girls, so she was attempting to lead me into a trap by behaving all friendly and trying to seduce me. It was the same exact strategy! And the thing is, while I barely remembered my classmates' faces at all, and I didn't plan to either, I could say with absolute certainty that I'd never seen this girl's face in the same classroom as me before. Probably. Damn it, I couldn't completely rule it out. After all, whenever I was at school, I was usually glued to my desk until the final bell, pretending to sleep, having delusions, staring at my desk, or feigning reading my textbooks. I didn't do anything else. I had next to no memory of my classmates' names and faces, so I didn't even try to remember any. Which was it? Was she telling the truth, or was it all a lie? No, it didn't matter whether or not we were classmates. Because the one thing I knew for sure, the one hard, indisputable fact was that she had committed murder.
たく、記憶力ゼロ？まあいいや。じゃあ、大臣に聞いてみて。
Who the hell is Daichin? Daichin? What the hell was that? Was that a person? Or some sort of secret code? Another demonic incantation!
大臣だよ、大臣。ミスミ大輔。
Wait a minute, that's your nickname for Misumi?
Huh?
She knew Misumi-kun's name? And not only that, but she was calling him Daichin? She wouldn't call him that unless they were really close.
というわけで、はい。
What? The demon girl quickly zeroed in on my cell phone that I had left lying on the sofa, picked it up, and held it out to me. It seemed like she wanted me to try calling Misumi-kun. I didn't like using phones, but she might kill me if I went against her orders. Driven by fear and with no other choice, I went to call him. Only to realize I didn't know his phone number. Upon seeing me freeze up in confusion, the demon girl tilted her head in confusion once again. Then after a moment, she came up beside me and peered over my shoulder at the screen. Her hair swayed as she moved, sending the pleasant fragrance of shampoo drifting down to the tip of my nose. No, she's a demon! I'll never let her seduce me! I'm not in 3D! Lend me your powers, Aeroton!
もしかして番号知らない？
To be fair, no. I don't even know my own... To be fair, I don't even know the phone numbers of my own family members. I just have them written in a phone book so that way I can always go back, look at them, and they'd be like, oh, so that's what it was. I struggle remembering a lot of stuff like that. It's why I write down a lot of stuff so that way I never forget.
だったら先にそう言ってくれなきゃ。ごめんごめん。
She even knows Misumi's number. With a light apology, the demon girl snatched the phone away from my hand. Her fingers grazed mine for a fleeting moment. They were warm. I guess both demons and humans have the same blood running through their veins.
大地の番号はね、ほいほいほいの。
The demon girl entered his number without a hitch. It was clear she dialed it many times before.
ほい、つながった。
She held the phone out to me with a smile. Not knowing what else to do, I ended up taking it for no real reason and putting it up to my ear. I heard the sound of the phone ringing. Eventually that sound stopped and was replaced by the voice of Masumi-kun. Hi, Masumi. They didn't give their name. It sounded like they were downtown or something, as I could hear a bunch of noise coming through the receiver. I really hated phones. I had no idea whether or not it was Masumi-kun on the other end. The voice sounded like his, but I also had this strange feeling that something was slightly different about it.
タク、大地出た？
This time, the demon girl peered at me from right in front of me. Shit, she was way too close! I turned my back to her and steeled myself. And now he's saying Taku. Wait, wasn't that a bit strange? How had he figured out it was me that quickly? I hadn't even gotten halfway through my name yet. He's saying things that would probably make... he would probably say, so... Oh. For example, there was the possibility that the demon girl had made a phone call to someone who only sounded like Masumi-kun. Maybe this person who sounded like Masumi-kun was just another underling of hers, and he was only pretending to be Masumi-kun in order to trick me. Maybe the demon girl already knew that I didn't know Masumi-kun's phone number, and so she'd been leading up to all this time. I was starting to doubt anything and everything. I didn't know what was true and what was a lie. Hold on. Well, what the hell kind of trap was the demon girl trying to make me fall into anyway? Why bother with a trap this elaborate? In a situation like this, wouldn't it be easier and quicker for her to just go ahead and kill me already? Or was there some reason behind it? Some kind of prerequisite saying she had to trick me, even if it meant taking it this slow? No, maybe it was some hidden camera type thing spearheaded by Masumi-kun. The girl wasn't actually my classmate, but Masumi-kun's girlfriend, and he'd sent her here in order to screw with me. As if fucking if! If that were the case, how the hell would I explain everything that had happened at the crucifixion crime scene? You're stoked, huh? You sound like, kind of. His tone of voice sounded exactly like Masumi-kun's. The more I heard, the more convinced I was that the person on the other end had to be him. That seems a bit weird, but right. Should I start talking? I sensed a gaze on my back. The girl was staring at me. The chills in the back of my neck still hadn't gone away. What kind of expression was the demon girl making? I wanted to turn around and see for myself, but I was too scared. Oh, of course you're with a girl right now. What, is it girl number 13 or 14? Oh, I'm sorry, you've already gone past those. What is it, 17? Freaking horn dog. Come on! I know you're antisocial talking to me, but come on!
うちのクラス いる女子先畑って名前の
Now, a moment of truth. Despite steadily becoming more and more incoherent, I somehow managed to explain myself. Suddenly, Masumi-kun stopped responding. Silence. However, I could still hear the noise of the city around him, so the call hadn't disconnected or anything. Why wasn't he talking? Oh boy, here we go. The next thing I heard was an extremely exaggerated sigh. Gamer brain? Hold on, what? The hell's gamer brain? A theory that claims people who play video games experience a chronic decline in emotional restraint and judgment due to a condition similar to dementia. What? Huh? This theory This theory stemmed from recorded measurements showing that the brains of those who play video games emit extremely low levels of beta waves compared to that of normal humans. It was widely publicized by the mass media and became a social issue for a period of time, but there were too many ambiguities present in the study, such as its methodology used to measure brain waves, leaving some to doubt its credibility. I've never heard of this. I suddenly want to look into this now. Where'd that come from? And not only was it completely out of left field, but he brought up that bullshit condition that had been coined despite having no scientific backing whatsoever. Oh dear, oh dear. How? Have you really forgotten about her? You've been in the same class with her since the first year of high school? Okay. Interesting. Wait a minute, the three of us saw a movie together recently. What? I couldn't comprehend what the person that sounded like Masumi-kun was saying. He'd said that the demon girl and I had been in the same class since first year, and that the three of us had seen a movie together pretty recently. Pretty recently, but when exactly? Oh boy, I like this. It's because of her that we're friends? Okay, that's kind of... This world's pretty huge, but even then, Rimi and I are just about the only ones who'd bother talking to a NEET like you. Wow. A bit? Our character already has severe issues. Don't need to pile onto it, dumbass. That's like if one of my friends would suddenly just come up to me and say, you know what? This world's kind of weird, but I think I'm probably one of the only people that would hang out with like a dude with autism like you. Like, that's just kind of a weird thing to say. Holy shit, Masumi. If you are Masumi, at least you acknowledge that's kind of harsh, dude. The words I heard on the other end of the call, not a single one of them felt real to me. I had absolutely no memory of any of it. I couldn't acknowledge that any of that had happened in the past. I just couldn't. It was all some story that the person who sounded like Masumi-kun had made up. It couldn't be my past. The past could only be established as truth if a person remembered it, so if I didn't remember it, it wasn't true. Plot twist, she could hear him say that.
君は誰だ？
おいおい、マジでおかしくなったか。俺のことまで忘れたわけか。やりすぎ。
You hung up, didn't you? Unable to take it anymore, I hung up the phone. My breathing had grown extremely heavy without me noticing. The sweat that had been beading on my forehead showed no signs of stopping. In fact, it was increasing. Long trails of sweat trickled down my entire body, starting from my face and ending at my feet.
たく、汗びっしょりだよ。
The demon girl, looking worried about me, calmly offered me a handkerchief. A cute, patternless vermilion handkerchief. There was a faint floral scent to it. Instead of taking it, I attempted to somehow maintain my composure and organize my thoughts about everything that was happening. But in the end, it didn't go too well. I was doubting anything and everything, causing all my thoughts to rapidly churn together into a chaotic whirlpool. Sighing in minor disappointment, the demon girl put away her handkerchief, and then with a triumphant look on her face, she asked me a question.
で、大臣はなんて?
She was acting like she already knew the answer. I couldn't afford to answer her. What was she? An ordinary classmate of mine? Or a monster? I had no idea. Maybe I was the crazy one. Taking the chat with Shogun into consideration, I couldn't rule out the possibility that someone other than myself was controlling my body. Or maybe all of my memories of the demon girl, of the girl named Saki Hatarimi, had somehow gotten knocked right out of me due to some freak accident or something. At this point, I didn't know anything about myself for sure. Did I have amnesia? Did I sleepwalk? Or could it be something else entirely?
大丈夫?
No!
体、辛いならソファーで横になる?
The demon girl spoke to me kindly. Don't let your guard down. Anyone who acts nice to an otaku freak like me must have some kind of ulterior motive. Man, you are really fucked with this mentality, dear lord. Seriously, Yua's betrayal really fucked with him so badly. Oh my god. I shook my head, putting my strong will to resist against the demon girl on full display. Then using that same strength, I raised my head. Sweat got in my eyes, blurring my vision. The demon girl's face was a lot closer than I'd expected it to be. What color eyes were those?
なんで?
何何?
ここにいる。
ああ、ごめんね、勝手に入っちゃって。
Yes, you did. That's a bad demon girl. Now go in the corner and think about what you did.
でも、ノックしてたんだよ。
And then turn yourself in.
タクは全然出てきてくれないし、中でものすごい音が聞こえてくるしで、結構ハラハラしてたんだから。
なんで?
今度は何?
ここにいる。
Why are you here? No one asked what caused her to trespass. No. My question was, what was her reason for coming here? If she'd come to kill me, she would have done it a long time ago, so why wasn't she doing anything?
ああ、ここに来た理由? ね。
The demon girl reached into her bag and pulled out a single sheet of paper.
はい。進路希望のプリント持ってきてあげたの。
What? Post-graduation aspirations? Huh? I found myself taking it from her without really thinking. She wasn't lying. The piece of paper did have post-graduation's aspirations written on it, along with 3 blank spaces to write your answers in. What was that? Was that it? Was that really all she'd come for?
帰ってよ。
I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want anything to do with any 3D girls. This is a trap. Don't listen to her. This isn't reality. This is a game, one filled with bugs. There are way too many contradictions. It doesn't hold together as a proper story.
僕に関わらないでよ。
If you don't intend to kill me, then just leave me alone. I am me. Some me that isn't me, maybe friends with Saki Hatarimi, but that me has nothing to do with the current me. Cradling my head, I closed myself off completely. I kept trembling and trembling, envisioning that the girl known as Saki Hatarimi wasn't there anymore. Not long after, I heard the sound of the door opening, telling me that the demon girl had left. I don't trust her. I don't trust her in the slightest. Nah, after what happened with Yua, I don't trust anybody. So I just realized I'm kind of in his shoes right now. Like, I legitimately can't trust anyone. Which is interesting because I like Yua, but holy fuck. That, damn. Alright, so we now have a name to attach to the demon girl. Sakihata Rimi. She has appeared out of nowhere, came to my room, freaked me the fuck out, and now I am questioning everything. The real question is whether that was really Masumi. I think we'll find out once our main character goes to school, if he decides to go to school, and then asks Masumi, like, hey, did I call you? And if he says no, then that was clearly a sound-alike. However, if he says yes, that opens up even more questions. This, again, makes me wonder, what is wrong with our main character? There is seriously something wrong with him and the world currently. We just don't know what. All I know is I don't trust her. I don't trust anybody right now. Except for the main character's sister. She's probably the only one that's really innocent in this entire thing right now. Anyway, my allergies are killing me. That is the limit of what I can do today. If you all like this, be sure to let me know. I apologize for the shortness of this, but allergies are royally destroying me. Thank you all, and I'll see you all next time.